So we got ourselves an interview going, right?
Oh, no, is it going?
We bong hit first, starting off right. So my first question to you is the last time we did an interview, about 2 or 3 houses ago.
Where was it? At Mike's?
This was at...
Or was it at my
This was
first
at the
apartment?
Icebox, if I remember right.
Yeah, that was 2 houses ago.
I did an interview with you. I asked you what you were listening to. Logan gave me an answer of like the Partridge Family or the Doors or something.
Are you serious?
Your answer was "fuck you." So I want to know what you've been listening to as
How
of
drunk
late.
was I?
Yes. So what you've been listening to as of late,
Well,
or have you just been listening to "fuck you"?
I showed you all the records I got on tour just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
And
you had a variety show.
yeah, a lot of.
I wasn't expecting Jimmy Cliff and Mary J. Blige.
Well, yeah, a lot of. And I was in search of some blues stuff that I hadn't had or seen, and that Muddy Waters live album was like boom. I saw that and it was like
Blind Willie McTell too.
And the Blind Willie. Couldn't find any iced tea. Here, pick that computer up.
Yeah.
I think where we moved that, there's some like bugs and ants and shit. I don't want to get in your computer.
Lovely.
You want bugs and ants in your computer. You don't want me crawling around your head. So, you know, record-wise on that tour, though, I found a lot of shit that, but, you know, I listened to a lot of Waylon and Willie.
Yeah.
I
think the most recent time I asked you, you were just like old country music. That's it.
Man,
fair enough.
It, you know,
Thin Lizzy, you got a new Thin Lizzy record. You almost got all the albums.
I almost got all the albums. I don't have the first 2. I don't have Nightlife. Maybe I do have Nightlife actually.
You just got luck.
I don't know. What have you been listening to lately? I did listen to the new Church of Misery.
New Church of Misery rolls.
I've been listening consistent with what they do.
I've been listening to a lot of I was out of town in Western Kentucky for like 2 weeks, and one of those weeks all I listened to was LA Woman, so I just went fucking crazy.
I've done that before.
Just went on a Doors binge, but mostly it's been soundtracks and fucking like Heaven and Hell by Sabbath. I've been binging on that as of late.
I think I texted you like weeks ago. I was like, man, I'm trying to listen to all the Sabbath that I haven't really listened to. Didn't I text you or something?
I think so, yeah.
Because I was like, I was getting into the Ian Gillan stuff or whatever his name is.
His one album.
Yeah, the Dio stuff. Yeah, that's right. It is only one album.
Yeah. I wish you had done
cheers,
too.
Park.
Hey, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to Sabbath. And cheers to Thin Lizzy.
Yeah. But, I mean, I don't listen to new music. It either grabs me because I see it live, or I wait too long to listen to it, and then the motherfucker dies or something, and then I get into him hard. Like, I didn't Power Trip.
Crazy.
I didn't understand Power Trip.
And then...
And I don't think I gave him a fair listen.
Yeah.
Because I think I assumed it was something else than what it was, which was good Texas thrash, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think I really listened to him, and then the motherfucker died, and I was like, I watched him on, what is that, What's in Your Bag, Meba Records thing, and all the shit that was in Riley's bag, I was like, fuck. And then he mentioned weed. He mentioned rolling a joint and listening to this one, and I'm like, sounds like my alley. Maybe I should listen to fucking Power Trip.
Shot, yeah.
And now I love Power Trip. But, too late, you know. They got another band.
That makes sense, yeah.
It's very much Power Trip.
Just with a different singer. Fair enough.
It's on Spotify. I don't think that there's any vocals on the tracks they put up. And I don't know if they're keeping it that way or what. I have no clue.
Interesting.
But it's very much Power Trip without vocals.
When I was doing the whole Riffopedia thing, I was keeping up with a lot of newer bands. And once I stopped doing that, it's like I just kind of roped into binges of like older shit. I just kind of tuned out of it. It's like I see newer bands pop up all the time, and I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's like, it's cool, but sometimes I'm interested, and I'll check it out, and sometimes I'm just like, I really don't give a shit.
They're called Fugitive.
Fugitive.
And
Neat.
it's got one of the guitarists and maybe another person from Power Trip.
Hell yeah.
But it started after Riley Gill, is his name, died.
Yeah.
So
R.I.P. But yeah, New Church of Misery fucking rules. I've been listening to that a fair bit. Can't find it nowhere, but I've been listening to it. I'll probably just have to get it online or something, like, physically.
Yeah, probably.
But
This morning I started listening to Berheria.
I seen them live last year up for Napalm.
Well, that makes sense because the guitarist is in both bands, right?
Yep.
Or the bass player in Berheria is a guitarist in... No, I can't
Napalm,
remember.
yeah, he did double duty that night, I think.
Oh, I'm sure.
But yeah, they had 3 singers. It was the wildest shit I've seen in a while. They had the decapitated head on stage and everything. It was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like, this band rules.
Well, I found out this morning, and I was up early for some. I woke up at I was listening to Berheria at 8 a.m. on the couch. Like, why am I listening to this right now? But I was reading about them, and finally, it's kind of like a spoof band. Like, they act like they're some drug cartel motherfuckers.
Yeah.
But they're not. And Jello Biafra was the first singer.
That checks out.
In, whatever year, 88,
Whatever year he did
89. I read all this morning. I don't remember. But then they replaced... He just didn't... He wasn't into it, I don't think. Because it's kind of a gimmick.
Yeah.
But yeah, the dude from Napalm Death is still in the band. He's of course, original member.
And Napalm's still going strong. After
they rule, man. They're so hard, dude.
They're fun.
Barney,
he's the shit.
I don't think I've seen him live because they never played Lexington, did they?
I don't think so. I saw him open for Slayer in Nashville. That was one of those cases where someone's like, "Hey, let's go to a show in Nashville," and it's like, "Yeah, I guess I'm doing this up against my own free will." And it's like, "But I'll do it for Napalm Death and Anthrax."
What year?
It was part of the farewell tour, so it was like, yeah, Slayer was like as good as they could be.
Any guesses as to who nudged you to make the drive? Was it he who shall not be named?
I don't know if we'd go that far, but he likes weed. He's a man and he likes weed.
He's deaf though.
I didn't see that answer coming.
That's funny. Shout out Weedman.
Shout out Mr. Weedman. We love you, dude. You little maniac. So, let's talk about some neglect. So, how did this band start, and what's the current lineup looking like right now?
It started Nick King, who's been in, he's in the 2-piece sludge banger thrashy band Warhammer with Aaron Cruz.
Is this still a thing?
No. Aaron's a super talented tattoo artist and is busy as hell.
Fair enough.
So I think I don't know if they'll ever do it again. Who knows? You never know. I hope they do because it was great and it was fun watching Aaron drum and all that stuff. But and they were just a fun band. They're a good band. And you don't see, we used to have 2-piece shows. We do Night of Living Duos once a year for that 3-year span or something.
Oh,
there might have been 2 shows. I don't know.
Yeah,
but that was fun.
Those
Arctos, Clay and Adrian.
Yeah.
So I think Nick wanted to do something because, Frustrate and Nub were long done.
Fair enough.
And Warhammer was kind of done. And I think he asked me about wanting to start Bed Sore up again, but, different lineup. And I was game for it because I still just think that's a fucking incredible, great band name.
Mm-hmm.
It's disgusting. It's perfect for punk or hardcore.
I remember seeing the first show in a basement and then the last show at Blood the Wolf when you pulled out a switchblade and threw it in the crowd.
Did I do that?
And then the drummer forgot one of his pieces of the drum
kit. So we couldn't play 2 new songs that I was... And we've never played them.
I was like...
they're gone. They never got recorded.
Yeah. Lost in the ether. Them's the breaks.
Oh, yeah. Severn didn't have... And I'm not a drummer, so I can't speak on this, but I thought it was lame. I thought we could probably do it just because you didn't have that one small tom.
Yeah.
To me... in my non-musicianship head, we could have played the songs.
You could have. It's called improvising.
But they're far better musicians than I am, and so I just took their word. We can't play the song, so we didn't.
Fair enough.
And we didn't even know that. We didn't know that was going to be the last show, but it ended up being the last show. And yeah, that was fun while it lasted, man. I thought, we were a good band.
Yeah.
Good enough, I guess.
Yeah, it was fun. It was dirty, scuzzy punk, and
yeah,
you played with a lot of dirty, scuzzy punk bands. It worked out great.
Yeah. So but I think Nick wanted a revamped Bed Sore, or knew that I still wanted to sing or do something. Sing.
And it just morphed into Neglect.
Well, we started with Thomas, who was the bass player. He went to drums, and we did a couple practices with him and Tibby, Tom Kastanowski from he was in Mayonnaise back in the day. And that was a fun band.
Yeah.
Minus like one person, that band sucked. But so Tom got on bass, Nick got on guitar, and Thomas got on drums. And we did a couple practices, and it didn't really gel. And Nick and I talked about it, and there's no, as far as I'm concerned, there's no hard feelings with Thomas.
Yeah.
So we went a different route with another drummer.
Gotcha.
And a different drummer style. So, I saw him the other day at the bar, and, like I said, it just didn't work out.
Thomas plays in a lot of bands too. He does his own thing. It's cool.
Well, he's a musician that, that's what he's gonna be, a musician for the rest of his life. Like he gets paid. Like he gets paying gigs.
Yeah.
And that's fucking fortunate. That's very unheard of. And so I'm happy for him. I have no ill will towards anybody from Bed Sore, in Bed Sore, now in Neglect. I have nothing like that. I haven't seen Severin in forever.
I remember one of the last discussions about Bed Sore. He pitched the idea of like having a cassette in a mini cereal box, and I just thought of Green Jelly.
Severin did that with his other band, Onward Pilgrim.
And I'm like, that sounds like some Green Jelly would do, dude.
He did that.
Wow.
I went to the show, and you got a little cereal box.
I mean,
with like a digital download or something in there. The tape cassette was in there, maybe? I can't remember.
I mean, there better be a cassette tape in there. If I'm opening a cereal box, there's just a digital download. I'm gonna be like, what the fuck?
It had cereal in it.
Oh, that's even worse.
It had cereal in there. Yeah, I think it was a tape cassette. No, he did that. I think it was with Onward Pilgrim. I can't remember. It's been so long.
Wow.
The release show was at Best Friend Bar, and I went specifically for it. I love Severin, still love him to this day. We just don't get to. He's in just in different places.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But as far as I know, he's doing fine. I think his father's doing okay. He's been taking care of him and living in Frankfurt. I think.
Gotcha. So this led into Neglect, and Neglect forming. What was the starting lab of our call? It's you, Nick, Tibby, and Nathaniel, right? From Dismal. And,
yeah.
Didn't he also play in Lips?
Yeah. He plays bass and Lips. He plays guitar in a band called Mook.
Okay.
Which is a hardcore punk band Austin Zahn does the vocals in.
Okay.
I don't know the other members.
About that one.
Yep. And they played Friday night at Girls, just 2 days ago.
Gotcha.
And I didn't get to go because I was at work, and then but Nick befriended or became friends with Nate. I had no clue who he was. He's like fucking 18, 17, 18. And they came to County Club, and he's like, this is Nate. He wants to drum with us. And I was like, cool. And I met him. And then Tibby hung on for a few months, and then he moved, and he got a job opportunity in Atlanta. So then we had to start over again. Kyle Keener from the excellent stoner sludge doom band of Lexington, Kentucky, Sonic Alter. Kyle is one of the best musicians in this town.
I mean, not just Sonic Ultra, but he also had Nest for a hot minute there.
Yeah, Nest was crazy.
Rotting Kingdom, he has Cortex Angel.
Good call.
And There's at least 1 or 2 other bands. I think wasn't he Bombs too? Or am I getting mixed up with somebody else?
Smoot.
Yeah. Okay, I'm getting mixed up. But yeah, he had at least
Well, let me
4
tell you
solid
something.
bands.
Sonic Alter's got a brand new album that's been recorded. Do you
Get
know
the
about
fuck
this?
out of here. No, I didn't know about this.
Wow.
Get the fuck out
You
of
don't
here.
have your fingers on the pulse of the underground heavy metal community then, buddy.
Nah, I've been out of it. I didn't meet my monthly quota. Whoops.
It sounds awesome. It's Electric Wizard worship in the best way possible.
That's how they were sounding when they first came back too. It was like Electric Wizard, but with like a Kurt Cobain sound like.
He got rid of everybody in the band except for himself.
Fair enough.
Adrian Dickerson recorded the drums.
Okay.
In the studio. And Travis from Autocrat, the bass player.
Yeah.
Travie did the bass on it, and they recorded it at Sneak Attack with Jason Groves over just down the street here.
Any idea when that's gonna drop?
Well, I've heard it.
You've heard? Damn.
I've listened to it multiple times.
I want to hear this shit.
It's not fully mastered. There's like some tweaks that Kyle wants to. It's just minimal mastering shit. Like bring the vocal up here, like bring this up. Like it's just not done. Kyle's been real busy. He's been trying to. Him and Ono were trying to get to New York, get a piece of land up there and move there, and they've had an extremely hard time with that. But
New York's not cheap land no matter where you go.
No.
Where to build it up?
No, but so I guess Nate came on, Tibby left, and Kyle expressed interest, and man, it's been such a blast. I used to get to hang out with him all the time, and then as we get older and life goes this way and that way,
of course, yeah.
you know. So just the like when you're in a band and it's like the jam time, the hangout time, the practice or whatever, the rehearsal, some people call it, which is fucking lame. The jam can be boring or it can be really fun, and after he came in, it was fun before, but getting to play with him has been a real treat.
Yeah,
I'll say.
I think I got to see the tape release. He was with the band, right?
Yeah.
I got to see at least one other show with him, and he did the tour with you.
Yes.
How'd that tour go?
Fucking so. Him, and he's been on a few runs. Nick's been on a couple of little runs. Nate, not really. So they said that it was the most fun time they've ever had on a tour, on an out of town run, whatever you want to call it. It was only like 6 shows or something. It wasn't like a fucking 2-week tour.
But still, that's a lot of tours nowadays. Just downsized for like DIY punk bands.
Is
it's a lot of it's downsized. Some bands go crazy with tours, but some bands like we'll do a week. We'll give our best week and go back to our lives.
Yeah, I guess that's what we did. But they all said that it was the most fun time they've ever had out of town with a band, in a band, ever. So that made me really happy because I feel like sometimes I'm, maybe a lot to be around for 24 hours a day for 6 to, other tours have been 2 weeks and you got to put up with me so the fact that, they were really juiced on it, that makes me, I'm very happy with that because they're all actually good musicians and know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
And I just, do my stupid thing.
Fair enough. Did y'all record anything with Kyle in the band, or?
He's leaving us with a like a riff, like a song almost.
Okay.
Like he was like, we asked him to, but then he was like, oh no, I'd already thought about it. Yeah, I got something for you.
Okay.
So he's leaving us with something. He didn't get to record. Tibby, Tom, Kastanowski recorded for the demo.
Yeah.
Which
rules.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, Will Tuning, the man, become one of my really best friends, top dear friends, just like you have.
Yeah.
I mean, just excellent human being all around. But then also he knows what he's doing, and that's why he's got his own studio out of his house, and that's why people go to him. He knows what the fuck he's doing.
Absolutely.
And he doesn't fucking charge an arm and a leg.
That's always a plus.
Yeah.
That's always a plus. Like,
that's why I've been working with you for so many years, because you let me nickel and dime you.
Exactly. I'm not gonna raw dog you, man.
What if I want to be raw dogged?
Oh, don't throw me with a good time. So, current lineup. Tell me about the Neglect's current lineup and future plans.
So we got back from tour. We all kind of agreed that we were good to just like chill for a few weeks before worrying about getting, because we already know Kyle was leaving. He is leaving. He's not going to be playing bass anymore. I was lucky we were all lucky, but I felt especially lucky to be playing music with him for the time that I got, because he's just an excellent person. I mean, he's always fun to be around. He's never been a bummer. Like, some people are just, sometimes, they just can't, whatever, but he's just always been pleasant. So I miss, that's going to suck, not getting to.
Yeah.
But Adrian Dickerson, also one of the best musicians in Lexington. And both these motherfuckers I've but I've always been like, I was in a band with you,
Yeah.
I want to be in a band with you, you're so good. Adrian is
he's been in more Lexington bands than Quakers got out. It's like, where do we start?
Some of these bands wouldn't have been nowhere near as good if he wasn't in them.
Yeah.
And he's been in really good. They've all been really good bands, but he is like a big factor.
He's a creative force. Like,
yeah, exactly. It's good. Yeah.
I mean, I first saw him with Stampede. Tons of that.
Excellent. I love Stampede, dude.
The first time I saw Dirtbag live, which we'll get to them in a little bit, but
yeah.
Arctos was on the bill. His black metal Opeth sounding thing, and I also got to see him with a couple punk bands.
You know why it was Opeth sounding?
Yeah.
Clay, that's his favorite band.
I also
got trained.
Good morning. So yeah, a little intermission there. We had a train ran on us.
It was zugga.
Yeah, we're a little loose right now, and so we're gonna go back to being neglected or neglect. Current lineup. Adrian Dickerson is the drummer now, right?
Well, we practiced a week from today for the first time with him on drums, and Nate going to bass, me still doing the stupid vocals, and Nick on stupid guitar. But I'm super excited because Adrian is the baddest drummer in Kentucky for sure. I mean, nobody can touch his stuff. He's got it.
He's unreal.
Like, it's going to be a big game changer. And no offense to Nate, because Nate's at 19 is a badass fucking musician.
He's 19?
Yeah.
I thought he was
No.
He was like early 20s.
But it's cool because on tour nobody asks if the bands if they're underage or not, unless they know like these are some 18-year-old or high school punk bands coming that are going on tour for some reason. So nobody asked. Like he could have got wasted the whole time. He didn't. He's a stand-up guy.
Good on him. So yeah, we were talking about bands Adrian was in. Like it started with Stampede, which I got to see them a few times. They were amazing.
The best one's the Animator.
God damn, that was the one I was about to get to. They were unfucking. First Metal Monday I ever caught at the tap room was the Animator. That was the first.
I rode up there with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the first one.
Who else played?
It was just them. That was back when they were starting at 11 p.m.
They came up there in Teague's brown Chevy.
Yeah, and Teague was like, "This is Louisville. This is Pussy Town. This fucking Pussy Town."
He's such a curmudgeon bastard. He'll probably never listen to this, so
yeah,
it doesn't matter.
My favorite memory of him was the Powell Mansion. Went to his. You wandered off for the day, so I wandered at his apartment. And he's cleaning an AK-47, and he's like, "You want to watch a movie?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let me thumb through your movies. What you got?" And it's Pick the Good, Bad, and the Ugly. And he's like, "Never thought you for a Western type." And I'm like, "You just never know with people, dude." Well, this is my favorite movie of all time.
It's one of the best soundtracks of all time. Morricone? How you say it?
Ennio Morricone? I always said Morricone.
So, it's just killer. But
that's like South End redneck talking, too.
Yeah, Teague. He introduced me to a lot of stuff that, mainly Blood In, Blood Out, which I'll put on right now. I'll watch it right now. I don't care. I love it. And some other stuff, and blah blah blah. So I lived with those guys for a minute.
He was cool in the early days of Stampede and the Animator, of course, but there was a couple other, going back to Adrian, he was in Chalos.
Chalos was awesome.
Yeah, that fucking ruled. There's been all kinds of other bands, and recently I saw him with this post-rock band called Eelith.
Yep, Eelith. And I didn't get to go to that show.
The one in December?
The winter solstice. Right?
Oh, man, it's like he never lost a beat at all. He was great. I mean, there's also his tenure with Tombstalker, too, which he was great in that band. I need to see him with the new lineup.
It's good. It's good.
Good.
It's good. It sounds like what they were always doing, but maybe more in the vein of what they really want to sound like.
Yeah.
So it's definitely, it's great. Adrian drumming with them, he's just a whole different beast, and you can't tame him.
I like that.
You can't fucking tame him, dude. He's one of my best friends. He's one of the single best musicians in this town, and he didn't have to even do it. He didn't even have to practice it. Like he come over here right now. I could hand him an instrument, and he'd start playing something.
I see it happen at the Powell. Somebody handed him like a mandolin or a banjo or something. He just started. He figured it out in like 2 minutes and just got with it.
His family musical history. His mother and father. Robin, big into the theatrical arts. Like stage acting.
Oh, wow. See, I didn't know this.
And then they've got a full recording studio in the basement of their house where Adrian and Dina got married. So I was moseying around down there, checking out everything. But yeah, they're all talented, musicians or actors or actresses. He went to school for like a sound engineering type thing or something. And I mean, even without that, he's just one of those motherfucking brains that just has it.
Yeah.
I mean, not that he didn't work on it. He just got it.
He's got it more than a lot of people do.
He's got it more than people that work on it 24/7.
Yeah.
He's one of those brains, man.
So, dude, hopefully that lineup sticks, and hopefully there's more recording soon and more shows.
Yeah, so a week from today, we're going to have our first practice with the lineup change, and I imagine I won't be really singing any of the songs, more or less just hanging out and letting them jam
do
it.
their thing.
Yeah. I don't think anybody's coming in like, I've got it all fucking memorized, and all that shit, because, you know me, none of us do shit like that.
It's punk rock. You don't have to overthink it like that.
Yeah, just none of us really do anything
It's like
on time.
It's like, Josh, if you were in a tech death band, I don't think I'd be like sitting around talking with you right now.
Well, one, I'm not talented enough to do that. And two, I don't care.
Exactly. That's why I like working with you. It's that's why we've been friends for years. We're both devil may care about everything.
Yeah.
We're not on the nose. It's like, you want to be on the nose, go get a job as a fucking security guard or something.
Win, lose, or draw, baby.
That's right. So, but before Neglect, before Bed Sore, there was Dirtbag. There was this Dirtbag band. And they put out an album last year on a Wednesday on the fucking solstice.
By accident.
We're
not hippies. I mean, we're not, like, I'm dirty.
Yeah.
But I'm not, like, I don't go to festivals.
Yeah, it's
like,
you're not vibing.
I don't follow the dead.
You don't vibe.
Or John Mayer.
Or
I'm getting a
Fish.
whiskey, so you don't have to pause it, but I'll be right back.
There's no rush.
I'm getting a whiskey. I'll be right back. Hold on.
I think that was just literally just a box car with a horn and carrying no cargo.
Sometimes it's just that. Sometimes
it'd just be a one-car show.
I think I'm gonna have to call Mosquito Authority and tell them to come back and spray again because I've been seeing them all day today.
So
I know they came during that week of storms. Are we going?
Yeah, we going.
All right.
So Logan gets back. Eventually.
And then over the course of like some months, we have the 9 songs, a couple of them to be polished up before recording, and then we polished them up and then we finished it.
Yeah. I remember you was adamant on not doing a show until the album was completely finished.
I know, and you were really sweet about that because you were like, you came to that Neglect show and you're like, I can have this stuff done, man. I just need you to give me the. And I was like, I'm not ready to write down the lyrics and send them to you yet because I'm fucking slow, dumb idiot. And you were really trying to do the job and get it done.
I was trying to be on it.
Yeah,
I was excited. I was just super excited.
I'm not mad about it.
Yeah.
I just
and then eventually I got the lyrics, and I think one thing I had to do because we're not going to use a font, so I like hand traced your lyrics to build the liner notes and everything.
Did you really?
Yeah.
All of them?
Yeah.
And the thank yous and the whole shebang?
Yes.
What?
Well, working with Drone Room.
Did you tell me this before?
No. I was like working with Drone Room.
Was this your big surprise?
No.
There's another surprise?
There's another surprise.
The's a big surprise.
But that's
Here's a
that's
little
our
surprise.
little secret. Good morning. Love it.
Corey was doing that at the bar, by the way.
But yeah, I've been working with that Drone Room guy. I started doing hand-drawn song titles. So I was like, I can do the calligraphy. Or the typography. That's the proper term. So that's not a problem. It was just the only problem was there was delays with the pressing plant because the pressing plant I did for the 4 Dirtbag CDs prior went out of business. Right. I had to find new people.
Yeah.
And the first group I went with was not very good. So I had to go with someone else, and it missed the return show by about 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, but
I was pissed. I was mad at myself more than anything.
I didn't know that was the last show until like probably after we finished. Like,
which
that night I probably realized
that show's gonna stick with me forever. Like, I remember like Logan's mom trying to hand him beers, and she just got knocked over in the pit.
It was a good one. Kathy was there too.
Yeah, I mean it was packed.
Carrie was there. Yeah, it was a good show.
Bone Church and Mother Iron Horse were
Thursday
fantastic.
night.
It was a Friday.
No.
It wasn't Thursday because
it was a Wednesday or Thursday.
It was a Wednesday or Thursday because like 2 days later I set up an art show like in Jeffersonville. I got to be a guest for like some burlesque thing, and I ran into like a bunch of high school classmates. It was super weird but super cool.
Well, the thing is I didn't realize how close Logan was to moving.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he even knew, but when it hit that Angie scored a good job, in another place, and they were in a position of relationship where they wanted to, keep it going, and he was ready to move. He's been ready to leave Kentucky, man.
Yeah,
I think he stayed around just because nothing
popped up yet. It was just the right time to strike. That's the best way to put it.
I think he stayed. He definitely said he stayed around. Like literally, one of the main reasons was to keep playing in Dirtbag with me. He didn't have a for sure like reason to leave, but he'd been wanting to get out of Lexington and or Kentucky for a long time, and that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, he's in Maryland now. I've tried to reach out to him a couple times. We've talked here and there. Maybe.
He's living it up. He's loving it.
Yeah, he loves Maryland. He's getting to see some cool shit, a whole new world. He's happy.
He's happy. He's been dating. Angie and him been dating for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
I think at least 2, maybe just under.
He's one I really should have kept in touch with more during the pandemic because we could have just made each other laugh.
It was hard, man. I think I only talked to 10 or less people like that weren't in town with me. I think I talked to Adam Nicholson quite a bit.
Yeah.
Or at least
the homie.
Reached out to
we
him.
love that dude. He also
his birthday was just 2 days ago.
Yep.
I called him.
Happy birthday, Adam. Absolute king.
Happy birthday.
Which that said, he did an extra guitar part for the final track of the album.
Yep.
Tribute to Mr. Chris Gilbert.
Yeah, forever Chris Gilbert forever. Where were we?
So, what's going on with Dirtbag now again? Like, just hiatus?
Hiatus. If Logan, I don't think he's been back home since my wedding, like I said. If he comes back home and he wants to play a show or something like that, we might do that. But a hiatus,
Fair enough.
I mean, we did it for
10 years,
well,
roughly.
2012 to 22. So
it was just, hey, you had a fun run. You got to tour. You got to do shit DIY, and
yeah,
you have to break even most of the time.
We toured about once a year, and it wasn't any crazy stuff because we booked it ourselves.
Yeah.
So it could, our first tour we shot for 5 shows. We got 3 shows.
Yeah.
And rode around his Avalanche together, and we're cutting our teeth still as a band.
Yeah, you were staying at my house the night of the Modern Cult one.
That was a good one.
We smoked a shit ton of weed on church steps.
Nathaniel's there from home.
Yeah, he bought
Chigger played.
Yeah, he bought the flyer cover which had the devil smoking a dude in a pipe. He thought it was a baby. He's like, "Oh my god, he's smoking a baby!"
That's one of the best flyers. I mean, you've done a lot of great art, but that's one of the best flyers.
He bought that.
The original piece? Does he still have it?
He has it. As far as I know, he has it.
I'll buy it from him. I'll pay double. Cheers.
Cheers. But yeah, I remember we went to La Bonga, and back when La Bonga was reasonably priced.
Well, and we all thought it was so good. Everybody from Lexington, Adrian, Anton, Chuck, Tomb Soccer Dudes, the Animator Dude.
There's a stampede story of them going to La Bonga. And
we thought it was so fucking good. It actually wasn't that good, I don't think.
No, it's like you said to me many years ago. It's only good when you're drunk.
Yeah, I think we realized.
Or in a certain someone's case with a certain Lexington band, when you're coked out of your mind and you're wanting cocaine, and the booth across from you is 2 police officers just giving you the death stare.
Oh, who was that?
Stampede. You know what member I'm talking about?
Smoot?
Yeah.
I was there for that show.
Yeah, he found like one of the guys working there was like, "Also, I can sell you some stuff." He's like, "Oh man, I need some cocaine." And then the dude brought weed. He's like, "What the fuck? I didn't want weed. I wanted cocaine."
I don't remember this.
I think Adrian told me the story, but I was like, "That's incredible."
No, I was at that show because they played Tap Room, and Clay broke a string.
And he
changed it while singing, and everybody else was playing.
He changed it and tuned it during the song. It was incredible. I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah. La Bonga was sick for about a year. We thought it was the best.
Dude, it's, you know what? So Weedman, we went to a Metal Monday. I think it was She and some other band. But he's like, we should go to La Bamba. And I was just like, oh, fuck. Because I hadn't been there since pre-pandemic. So we went in there, and the little tacos that were like $1 each.
No, I always got the burrito.
Well, they had those little tacos. They're $3.75 a piece now. The burrito's like $15. I understand it's Bardstown Road, and it's expensive space because of gentrification.
It's really just COVID, man. Everybody, there was no, like...
The food quality was the same, but the price was just, like, ridiculous. And I'm like, when
you find the places that are worth it, because like everybody had to charge more after COVID.
Oh,
everybody has to the places that made it through COVID, like they got to do that.
But it was
because they lost out for so long.
They went up like 200-300% with their food. It was like some places only went up.
But when the places that are actually worth it to pay that, they're not worth it to pay that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't had it in like.
It's the same quality, but it's expensive.
If it's the same shit, then I don't, But
I should have just lied to him and said it was closed down. Like, we've also hit a decade where White Castle isn't even open 24 hours anymore, except for one of them.
Was it Sourvein? When we drove to Indy?
It was either Sourvein or I Hate God and Go Horror. Because there's 3 shows we went to in Indy. We went to Mayhem Fest 2012, Sourvein 2011, Go Horror.
The Mayhem Fest was
2012.
Yeah, but what? That was Motorhead.
Motorhead and Slayer and Slipknot.
Dude, who made us leave during Slipknot? Was that you?
Yeah.
You son of a bitch. I was reliving 1999 all over again, and you were like, "We gotta go."
Yeah, I was being a prude.
But
ruining everybody's new metal nostalgia.
But you were driving.
Yeah. I was being a prude. And then we stopped at Steak and Shake, and it was fucking horrible.
Did we?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
And I just like, I got to the point where I was like, I think after that night, I was like, I'm never eating fucking Steak and Shake again. It's like the Undertaker streak, but instead of wins at WrestleMania, it's just bad service and food at Steak and Shake.
I'll be honest. Motorhead was amazing to see live, but they weren't in my top wheelhouse at that time.
They were bucket list for me.
Just because I really, like, all my life, I've known Ace of Spades, of course.
Yeah.
Whatever they play, because you got to realize, growing up in Lancaster, if we could dial in 100.1,
Mm-hmm.
between
That's the only Motorhead song you're ever going to hear.
Between the years of 1990 and 1999, that was our source of music.
Gotcha.
Ace and I.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you had 103.3, which would play some stuff that we liked, too. But, so we only heard Highway to Hell by AC/DC.
Gotcha.
3 different Led Zeppelin songs, 3 different Pink Floyd songs. And we were all into that. But I didn't get to hear enough Motorhead and really be enticed by it until it was really blasted in my face when I came to Lexington. Like, and like, you got the Motor Tower. You've been a fan for
years,
20-something years.
I did see him on the last North American tour they did.
The tour that he died on.
Well, what happened is he got sick on that tour, canceled a few dates, and they just played it day by day. The first day he got to go back doing it was St. Louis, and the next night was Indy. And I played hooky from work that day, and Weedman bailed last minute, and my buddy Marcus Thomas, diehard Dave Grohl fan, he actually first heard of Lemmy through Probot and Shake Your Blood. That was like his weird thing. He's like a big Foo Fighters Nirvana guy, Dave Grohl fan. So I told him, it's like, you want to go see Motorhead? And he's like, I'm off, let's go. So he got to see him, and they did a full hour. They did the full set.
That's fucking.
They did that North American tour. They did a European tour, and then Lemmy died like 2 weeks later.
Is it 2017?
2015, yeah.
15?
He 4 days after he turned 70.
Yeah.
Which, person with as much drugs as he did and the lifestyle he lived, it's amazing he got that far.
70?
Yeah. I mean, we were talking about Morrison
People
earlier.
That don't do anything don't live to be 70. You know what I mean? But
you just never know.
I just, like, growing up where me and Ace grew up, like, unless somebody shoved this in your face or told you about it and gave you something to listen to. So we were listening to, I mean, the grunge thing was forced in Ace's and I's face.
Yeah.
So, Soundgarden was, like, the best. Nirvana was
the shit.
Nirvana was my number one band from, like, 92 to 97. Even after he's gone, after he was gone. But, SDP, fine, whatever. Alice in Chains. Dude, Alice in Chains. Their 2 EPs, Sap.
Yeah.
And Jar of Flies, man. Those are two of their, they just are not the same as the rest of their studio albums, but those are 2 of their best albums, like, hands down.
Yeah.
Hands down. So, I don't know, it's just weird growing up where we, and you were in Louisville pretty much most of your life, right?
I've lived there my whole life.
Yeah.
And I was like, if it wasn't for family and close friends there, I would have left there a long time ago. It's like my whole thing, my mom, she always had in her to want to leave Louisville. Mm-hmm. And in the last, 2 years of her life, she moved to LaGrange, which isn't far, but it was like, for her, that was good enough. Somewhere more quiet, somewhere more remote. I think that day is going to come one of these days where I'm going to leave Louisville and go to maybe Newport or Lexington, second or third home. It just, who knows? I don't know.
Well, your rent will be cheaper in Lexington.
Yep.
And then you're still only an hour from Newport.
Exactly.
Hour and change, The whole thing.
Very enticing.
Well, that's the thing, is Louisville and Lexington is really about, Louisville and Cincinnati are only really about an hour from here.
I don't know. Yeah.
It's the
easy
leaving
drive.
Town. It's the 20-30 minutes getting to the thing, and then you're there,
Exactly. Newport's become my third town because it's like
sometimes
I need days where I need to get the fuck away from everybody.
That's what Ace is like. why does Corey love Newport so much? And I was like, well,
Dude,
he doesn't know anybody there, and he gets to fucking, like, roam around and be free.
good. I'm going to give him a couple phone numbers. He can pal those people around, and then he'll be so in love to love Newport.
Here comes Weedman. And what do you think about that Rheingeist watermelon? Sucks.
Very tart.
Sucks.
It's like tart, but also like kind of flavorless.
Logan Logan from Dirtbag,
Yeah.
We love Rheingeist bubbles. But I think we
Bubbles is good shit.
I talked to him a week ago, literally. And he was like, yeah, we burnt ourselves out with that bubbles. I was like, yeah. I was like, he came to the show in Philly during the June tour.
Told me about that, yeah.
And I was like, dude, here's 3 Rheingeist. I couldn't make it through the whole 6-pack. They suck, man. Tell me what you and Angie loved them. Logan said they were horrible. And I was like, yeah. Yeah, it tastes like fucking watermelon bubble yum in a bad way. So
I got a buddy, a good friend of mine, Roy. He used to work at the Holy Grail. He works at a different restaurant now
in Louisville.
Yeah, he's a bit of a beer. He's like a bit of a. I'm not gonna say beer snob, but he knows his taste. So it's like he's found a couple places where it's like try this beer. So it's like he's kind of opened up my palate a little bit to where it's like there's like I think it's also what keeps me from drinking too much. I mean, this ain't about me, but
when there's more robust, big flavor, you don't chug them.
Yeah, and when they're more expensive, you don't buy a shit ton of them.
Yeah.
But then on the flip side, I went to like an arcade expo in March, and the best beer they had was PBR, and I'm like, I'm gonna do the PBR thing.
PBR anymore. I can't drink like Coors Banquet anymore. It's too sweet tasting. Yeah.
The one for me, I can't do Guinness anymore. It gives me headaches.
So I almost, because of our love of stouts, I was at the co-op getting my sandwich for lunch today, and I was looking at the beer selection. They have a great beer selection there. They do it up. There's all the 3 Floyds that are available year-round. There's all the Rheingeist. There's all the Mad Tree. There's all the Urban Artifacts. And I was looking at the 3 Floyds, and they got that Molotov Milk Stout or something.
I've actually had that. That one I could do without.
I almost got it.
That's one of the few I can do, and I'm not like, it don't feel like my head's going to crack open the next morning.
I didn't get it, but I almost got it. I got these instead.
Like, the tap room has Murphy's, and it's like, just looking at it gives me a headache now.
I don't drink stouts like I used to. Me and you used to love stouts.
Yeah. I turned to a Guinness freak.
Especially after that first, we played at Modern Cult, and we went to that bar, and they had the Warlock on.
Oh my god, yeah.
I
forgot about that.
That's like we were like, oh yeah, bring them on.
Look at the pumpkin on the label. Let's drink the fuck out of this.
So yeah.
We're so stoner doom right now.
Imperial Brewing Company?
I can't remember the company.
I
think the craziest dark beer I ever had, it was at Holy Grail. It was from like somewhere in Russia, and it was 17%. It looked like the Void, and it tasted like the Void. And, yeah, I don't know how I got out of bed the next morning.
Well, I dig those beers made by the monks.
Oh, yeah.
Trappist style ales and stuff.
That's some good shit. Best. I think there's a couple German style places, so I've been leaning more toward.
The microphone got that.
I hope so too.
I bet it did.
So,
where are we at?
The future Dirtbag is uncertain. We have Neglect. Is there any other projects you got going on?
One maybe in the works.
Go on.
That's what I said. Maybe one in the works.
Maybe one in the works.
I just want to play. I want to do some heavier music. Like Neglect is like a punk metal thing, you know? It's not thrash, it's not hardcore. You know what I mean?
It's just like, there's a lot of Motorhead and Thin Lizzy worship in there.
Well, Nick King he wants us to sound more like Discharge and Warthog. Like, that's what he wants.
I know Discharge, I don't know who the fuck Warthog is.
Oh, let me play you a track.
Who the fuck is... I mean...
You never heard Warthog?
I've never heard of Warthog. I've heard of Dystopia. I've heard of Amoebics. I've heard of...
okay, you're gonna like this.
Doom and Crass. But yeah, that's a name that slipped under the radar, so...
And Nick's not wrong in wanting to sound like these bands. Like, he doesn't say this, but like me and Nate are like the young gun. We're like, yeah, Nick just wants us to sound like Discharge and Warthog, and he does. Like,
I know a little bit of a D beat, like crust vibe.
Well, I mean, you notice the difference if you listen to the Neglect demo. You notice the difference in my vocals from. It's different. It's not the same as I did in Bed Sore. It's not the same as I did in Dirtbag.
Fair point, yeah.
But what helped curb that was Nick being like, try a little more of this.
Yep.
You know, because I was doing big, long draw outs, you know, like one word, just like, you know, and
like Weed Eater and their fucking like 10-word verses. I never got to ask you, like, you got to open for Weed Eater, man. 2019.
Yeah, with Mind Scryer.
Yeah.
Louisville
or Blind
band.
Sugar. That's what they had on the flyer.
Yeah.
That was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
That was the first time the Burl ever got noise complaints, too.
That's what I was told. Yeah, I mean, I didn't, like, we got there early, Carrie and I walked by Dixie Dave, I had my toe cat on, which was beat to hell. I'd had it for sucking 8 years, man, you know, we've been playing with Toke, been friends with them since 2000, like, I want to say 15, so, you know, we're going on 8 years of friendship.
Yeah.
It might have been 14.
Yeah.
It was early, we played with them at Al's.
Yeah, 2015.
Clay booked it. Horrible job. Job. He did a horrible job booking it. He didn't put up a Facebook invite post or a flyer thing online. Yeah, but
I did the flyer.
He didn't put it up till the day of the show because I messaged him. I texted him. I said, "Buddy, we got no invite to this thing. You booked the show." And he was like, "I'll put it up." I was like,
I remember I had an art booth set up and sold some art and recorded your set. I should have recorded Toke's set. That's on me though. That shitty camera I got.
Was that the night that you sat down and passed out?
That was with what was it? Obsidian. It was like 2 touring black metal bands, and then Arctos played at 3:15 in the morning, and I passed out.
That late? They played at 3:15 at Al's?
It started at 3:15 in the morning.
I booked that show.
And it ended at almost 4 a.m. I got woke up at, I can't remember what the bands were. It's like Obsidian, Shrine, and Autolatry. I want to say those are the names. I might be wrong. But I remember like...
Obsidian, Shrine, maybe. The other one, I'm not sure.
I remember...
What is it?
Autolatry? I remember passing out. I woke up. Everybody was surrounding me. You were grabbing my dick. And there's a picture of me passed out that somebody took that I was like, ugh.
Wasn't Brandon Brown at that show?
Probably.
You know what I'm talking about from Merwin, Bald Head?
Yeah.
I think we were all at that show.
But yeah, I remember...
How did we get home?
I don't remember.
I know you stayed at my house.
Yeah, the next thing I remember was being at the Powell Mansion. I was talking to the touring black metal dudes with bullet belts and shit. We were watching the sunrise. We just got to talk about nature, and then somehow I passed out, and somehow I got home. I don't remember.
That's so fucking good.
My subconscious got me to where I needed to be, but dude, like my body just ran on autopilot.
I miss living at the Pile.
I miss the Pile too. I was telling somebody the story about the first Blood of the Wolf. It was Ace actually at Gore Club. We both told our own stories of the first Blood of the Wolf. He said they were raging into 6 a.m. He went and slept in his car.
Yeah.
First Blood of the Wolf, I got so drunk, I like climbed over the fence of the next door neighbor's yard and just puked in his yard and then climbed back. I'm like, what the fuck is this, Hell Goat? Okay, I'm gonna go puke in this dude's yard again.
Hell Goat?
Yeah.
The band.
Yeah, I watched Hell Goat for like...
Were they from Atlanta?
I think so. I watched like one song in their set and then I went back to that dude's yard and just puked in his yard.
Their singer's like super skinny. Like frail, tiny, skinny motherfucker.
Yeah. But like... I think it was like naturally skinny. It wasn't like...
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't like... I remember there was like...
That's just what I remember.
I remember there was one death metal...
They played a Sidecar.
Yeah, there was one. Well. There was one death metal band I saw. I'm not going to name their name, but I saw them open for somebody. And I'm like, is this dude on fucking heroin? He just had the look.
Lord, whatever.
No, it wasn't them.
Just fart.
Yeah, that's what they sound like too.
Well,
yeah, but yeah, I remember going back.
I'm not the only one that calls you out.
Because but yeah, Ace.
You've been doing it like very nonchalantly all day.
Absolutely. But Ace was the one who drove me to Blow the Wolf, and we got there in time for your set, and
we were the first band.
yeah,
4
p.m.
o'clock.
4 p.m. sharp.
It was horrible.
Yeah,
I had a double espresso at the co-op, and when we got to the bar, I was sitting with my mom at the bar, and she was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I feel very uneasy and like really wound up." And then I ordered a beer and I drank it, and I felt a lot better. It was I drank too much caffeine.
I get like
That stinks.
I'm getting that point. Yeah,
It stinks. Are your shorts okay?
But yeah,
I'm serious.
Ace
Are your
slept.
shorts okay?
I'm sure I'm okay.
Are you?
I like to believe I am.
Stinks.
Yeah. But yeah, Ace slept in his car. He said they were going till 5 or 6 in the morning, raging.
What house were we at? Were we at me and Logan's?
We were at Pile.
Oh,
This was the first
when I
Blow
lived
the
in
Wolf.
Pile. Oh, okay, yeah. So
This was the first Blow the Wolf, 2014.
2014. Goddamn, it's almost 10 years old.
Yeah. I remember being in there, and there was like 80 metalheads just raging, getting buck wild. And the next thing I know, somebody throws a toilet out of the second floor bathroom down the stairs, and it just shatters in front of the door.
Was there poop in it?
I don't know, but it's just like somebody just kicked a
Not
toilet.
not on my side.
I
Well, you know, my side was
yeah, because it was laid out like
there was the band room in the middle and the staircase,
and then it was your side, that apartment, the apartment above it, which I never saw the above apartments, and then there was the other basement one. There was Teague's, and then there was one above it. So it was the one right above you. Someone just yeeted that fucking toilet down the stairs, and everybody started cheering. And I was pretty.
It didn't happen on my side. If it did, it didn't come down to my basement. Cause
It didn't.
I would remember that.
It didn't leak that far, but I remember like something just got destroyed, and about an hour later, I like passed out in your bed or on your couch, and I think Ace drove. Yeah, Ace drove me there, and Ace drove me home. So it's like the other Blood of Wolves I only ever made it one day. So I miss that fest.
I miss the Pile Mansion, man.
That place was crazy.
I miss it.
I miss the Icebox too.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, it's like driving back, like when we talked about it a couple of years back. I drove by it, and it was like Moss Man House. It was like fucking what was that movie? The anthology movie I'm thinking of. God damn it! You know what I'm talking about? The anthology horror movie where dude gets infected by a meteor and he turns into a moss man.
It's a creep show.
Creep show.
That's
yeah.
Stephen King.
Yeah. It's based on the name
George Romero.
Yeah.
And it's possibly my favorite movie right now.
Yeah, I love that
Creep
movie.
Show 2 is also excellent.
Creep Show 2 is fun. But yeah, it was like that's what
Stephen King wasn't.
Well, no shit. He wrote it in The Mangler. I saw The Mangler recently, and I'm like, what the fuck am I watching?
Have you watched what's the one? Night Shift.
Yeah.
Night Shift rules.
It rules. It's fucking crazy.
Because it's still one of those movies that's shot in that very good, glossy 80s VHS.
Yeah.
Perfect. Like, if you don't watch it on VHS, it's worse looking. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just like...
Yeah.
All right, you haven't heard Warthog. I'm going to play you the one song.
But before we get to that, I was just going to say, the icebox towards the end looked like the fucking Moss house at the end of that segment in Creep Show. It was there, so you couldn't even see the face of the house. There was so much like foliage over it.
The Dirtbag poster board that you painted, or drew, it's got mold on the back of it because it was up on that wall in the band space. Yeah, I'm not even removing the mold. I'm just putting it right in the frame. Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
I love it.
I'm trying to pick the best Warthog song for you.
Just pick one.
Wow, they're all really good.
Oh, shit. Trying to get the thing, come on. Come on, Alexa. Don't act like you're a poser.
Just gotta connect
it. Yeah, but that's a crust pan that slips under the radar. I've been listening to more Dystopia and Amoebix as of late.
Bluetooth connected.
fucking sick. It's got a bit of that Celtic Frost Hellhammer vibe to it, too. Simple. Just caveman shit.
It's just that's what we're still, yeah. I'll turn this down so we can talk, but that is Warthog, and
That rules.
they are excellent. They are excellent.
I'm glad you told me about one.
They're fantastic. They've only got like an EP and like maybe 2 albums.
Gotcha.
Or they may be all EPs. I can't remember.
It's the punk rock thing to do.
Well, yeah, it's good. Nick loves them.
Nice.
Where we at?
So, what else you got going on with life right now? You just got married last year. You're just living your best life, right?
I'm maintaining.
You maintain.
I'm maintaining.
Surviving on this little dirt ball we call planet.
I'm very fortunate for all the people that I've met, good friends that I've made. I think the best way to put it, I'm just very fortunate. I mean, sounds ridiculous, I guess, but I always feel like that. I feel very fortunate where I'm from and how I was brought up and the things I got to do while I was young. And like, I think that's what I try to surround myself around is other like-minded people.
Yeah. You can look at your peers, some of the people you grew up with, and realize you did more than that. You did more in a short time than they've done in a lifetime.
I didn't care about that.
Yeah.
Really, just being fortunate or lucky enough to have met some really good people in a hard stretch of your life.
Yep.
Because we're in that hard stretch of our life.
And the important thing is to find the people in your life that are kind to you whether you're kind to yourself or not.
Yeah, and stick with it.
Yep. Absolutely.
Oh, Lord, we know I ain't been kind to myself in the past decade.
Same.
I've been kind enough. But,
We know some people that weren't kind to themselves and never got out of it, unfortunately.
Well, I never tried heroin, so that's good.
Fair point. Me neither. It's like, speaking personally, when you have someone OD in your driveway at broad daylight as a teenager, you either follow that path or you do whatever it takes to stay the fuck away from that path.
Yeah, it's one or the other. You don't dabble.
Yeah, there's one extreme or the other. It's not like you dabble in it and you're like, oh, that was... I've seen the other side and I got out. It's just...
Well, I think...
some people do.
But I know I'm very fortunate that my mother, Kathy, is as good of a person, woman she is, and that stuff wasn't introduced to me. I didn't hear about marijuana until middle school. Some people hear about it, I guess, in elementary school.
I started smoking at 13, so...
Yeah,
most people I know...
That's kind of normal, right, I guess?
It really is. Like, some people do it earlier, some people...
I don't think that's bad.
No.
I just didn't until I was in college, 18.
Yeah. I was a little late to the party. I was a little late to the party on beers, but my first beer was Stroh's.
Ugh.
And
I hate Stroh's.
That's all you need to know. So I didn't start actually trying beers and finding beers I enjoyed till like my early 20s.
Mosquito behind you there. Now it's right here. It's right here. Kill it.
Team makes the dream work, right?
I think back about playing football in high school. I wish I maybe partook of smoking that joint before we played, because as I got older, any outdoor activity, smoking weed, great.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Last question I got. And this is one I've been asking everybody with the last few interviews. Favorite local stops?
For what?
In general.
Music, food, what?
We'll do one for music, one for food, and one bar.
Well, I'll go all day one bar, Green Lantern.
Yeah.
the best people in town. Um, for music, for catching a lot of fucking touring acts and up and coming bands within Kentucky, and then outside a little bit too. And girls burritos. And
Great food, by the way.
specifically, Austin's on is crushing it. He's doing the due diligence. He's booking shows, making them happen. And Girls has like really adopted it, brought it on to where they've got a stage set aside over, in the corner. It's a small stage. You don't need a big stage. But where young people are able to go to shows, all ages, and see bands and get inspired and have fun.
Yeah.
All walks of life. So we didn't talk about this. I wanted to point this out. But also Nate from Neglect, Nathaniel, is a big part of this as well. He's booking shows there, but he's also in the fucking scene, and with all this multitude of younger people coming in, he knows it. He knows them all. He knows it, and it's a really fucking good thing.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I think that's a good fucking interview right there.
What are you doing with the rest of your summer? You staying here? A little cot. Oh, you can sleep in the hammock.
Hey, don't throw me a good time.
It's only $100 a night.
$100 a night.
I could go. I'd go $100 a week.
$100 a week. Okay,
$400 a month.
You got a goddamn deal.
No, I'll say this. Very fortunate that we became friends and made each other go to shows.
Man, it started
over a decade ago.
Yeah, and we've still been friends, and the friendship only gets stronger.
I love you.
And I fucking love you.
I really love you.
We've had so many memories together. Like,